Hare Krishna. Your mental inclination is not necessarily your personal intention. Inclination is, in a geometrical sense, refers to the slope of a particular surface. So, say if a road is inclined in a particular direction, then if the water falls on that road, the water will naturally flow in that direction. So this is the physical or geometrical inclination of the road. Similarly, if we apply this sense of the word inclination to our mental inclinations, that means that our mind and our thoughts tend to flow in a particular direction. Just as water flows along the inclination of a road, so our thoughts flow along the inclination of the mind. Suppose if we are in a car on a road that is inclined, at that time, even without our effort, if we just keep the car without any attention to it, the car may just move by its own volition. On its own, the car may start moving down the inclination. Now the car moves down the inclination, but that does not necessarily mean we want to go where the car is moving. We may want to go in some other direction, and then we may conscientiously brake the car and put it in reverse or turn it around and go in the opposite direction. So the default motion of the car along the inclination is not necessarily the direction where we want to or we need to go. So then we can understand this very easily when we are talking about an external car. But when it comes to our inner life, now our mind also has certain inclinations, and our mental inclination is not necessarily our personal intention. That means, let's say if our mind is inclined towards sense objects. So now, by default, if we are not thinking about anything, if we are not focusing on anything, then the mind will automatically start thinking of sense objects. And as it starts thinking of sense objects, those thoughts will become stronger and stronger, and we may feel impelled to indulge in that sense object. So if we are not conscious, that which is an inclination coming from the mind will become our intention. Intention means that is something which we decide to do, that is something which we want to do. So we don't have to let the inclination, we don't have to mistake the inclination to be an intention, first of all. That means just because the thoughts are going in a particular direction doesn't mean we want to do something. Just as our intention may be different from the road's inclination, similarly, when we are driving a car, our intention of where we want to go may be different from where the road is inclined. Similarly, our values and purposes in life may be different from wherever the mind is inclined to go. By recognizing that everything inside me is not me, all the thoughts and desires inside me are not my thoughts and desires. By recognizing this, we can avoid unwittingly taking up ownership of our thoughts and desires. In the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna talks about this sort of inner vigilance when he states in 14.21-22 that prakasham cha pravrittim cha mohameva cha pandava nadveshti sampravrittani nanivrittani kankshati. He says different kinds of thoughts, illumination, temptation or illusion, according to three modes, they may come in our consciousness. But a self-realized person or a person seeking self-realization observes such thoughts critically without letting oneself get carried away by thoughts. By recognizing that these are thoughts which are coming, they will come and they will go. Nadveshti sampravrittani nivrittani kankshati. One doesn't hanker for them to come when they go away, and one doesn't resent when they come. One just observes. Let them come, let them go. And in this way, one stays unaffected amidst the arrival and the departure of thoughts. So by recognizing the difference, by becoming introspective and recognizing the difference between our mental inclination and our personal intention, we can avoid engaging in activities which we don't have to do, which are against our principles. And gradually, as we consistently direct our consciousness towards Krishna, our mental inclinations will change. And then our mental inclination will be, our mind will become inclined towards Krishna. Mai asakta manah partha. Krishna says in 7.1 in the Bhagavad Gita. And when that happens, then by default our mind will go towards Krishna even when we are not consciously striving to take it towards Him. And when that happens, when we become by default attracted to Krishna, then our life will become constantly joyful. Thank you. Hare Krishna.